Hey there, folks. Welcome to my Retro Media Room. Today, I wanted to do some early impressions and mini reviews of three Sega Genesis games, starting with Mazin, Saga, Mutant, Fighter. So, when it comes to the side scrolling beat 'em ups in general, I tend to refer to games such as Final Fight, Turtles in Time, Hyperstone Heist, Streets of Rage, when it comes to what I expect out of a well made 2D side scrolling brawler or beat 'em up. So, Mazin Fighter is such a game, which is very common back in the 16-bit era. And to start with the things I like about the game, the visuals are great. The technical aspects of the game are very impressive. It's got great colors, fantastic animations. The sound is fine. The controls are responsive, so all that stuff adds up very well. The issues I ran into were with the gameplay. So, like I said, with those other fighting games or those other brawlers, I expect a certain flow to the combos, the way the enemies, the way you hit enemies, how quickly enemies die, and so on, right? Like, for example, like a bad mechanic, if an enemy is able to get you in an attack loop and there's no way for you to get out of it, or it's difficult to get out of it, that's bad design. If the bosses are way too difficult to the point where it's just frustrating and not fun or not merely challenging, bad design. So, having said that, that's what some of the games that's what some of the issues are in this game are. So the your main combo, for instance, so your primary combo is extremely important because that's going to be your number one tool in any of these games. So your initial hits, like your first two or three hits, they just kind of knock enemies around. They don't damage them very much. You'll hit them over and over and over and over again. They keep going down, keep going down, keep getting back up. Really, the main way you're going to finish them is when you with your combo ender. Now, the problem with your combo ender, I don't like that it's basically Chun Li's rapid kicks because you're standing in place. It's powerful, and you can do a group of enemies in front of you this way, but you're just standing in place and you're just mashing the button and you're doing it. I would much prefer for it to be a single powerful hit that eliminates the enemy. So the I don't really like the feel of the of your main combo. And another gripe I have is that when you do a sprint attack, when you do a sprint. So normally in these games, when you do a sprint, you're able to sprint into an attack to help get your combo started, so that you're able to rush enemies, get in there, get out, so on. Right? That's a very important tool with these types of games. Well, this doesn't have an on the ground version. You sprint and you just go into a lame normal attack. You don't sprint into a special attack like a shoulder charge or special swing or anything. What you are able to do, which is good, but it's the only thing you're able to do from it. If you jump from a sprint, you're able to do a cartwheel blade attack now, or a windmill blade attack. Now, very cool. It's a good attack. It's one of his best attacks. His move set just kind of feels unfinished and not very well thought out. And combine that with getting into attack loops with enemies where the only way to get out of them is to jump away or back up, or you can't counterattack, you can't, especially when you get up from being invulnerable. When you're blinking and invulnerable, you should be able to immediately counterattack because you took that damage. You get up, you got a second or two of being invulnerable, and you're able to get them off you. It's too brief, and that's a common design flaw in some of these games, is where that window of invulnerability is way too short, making it pretty much just useless, and it's annoying. Now, the thing that really turned me off from this game was the boss. So that boss I got to, and while visually impressive, once I got to fighting him, this is lame design. It's just bad. Trying to hit his hands, you hit him once or twice, he backs off. You're trying to hit him, he's dodging you, going back and forth. There's no real pattern to it, and he does massive damage to you when he grabs you. It just not well thought out, not well designed. I mean, boss battles are an art form, and they can be really fun, and nothing wrong with it being challenging. But this just felt broken and dumb. I just didn't like it. Did not like that, and it turned me off from the game. I ran out of continues, and I didn't want to keep playing, to be honest. So, not a good first impression. If you grew up with this game and you kind of powered through it as a kid and you got used to it, I'm sure people feel differently about it. But for me personally, and this is the boss right here at the top, this skull creature with his giant hands coming at you. Just that was really annoying. I did not like that fight. Did not like that fight. So yeah, this game was pretty disappointing from a purely gameplay perspective. It was pretty disappointing. Wasn't crazy about it. Don't know when I'll play it again. I would like to give it another chance. I might, because it is a cool game. I love the setting and everything. But yeah, Not sure about that. We'll see. All right, next we have Wolverine Adamantium Rage. I'm not going to bury the lead in this one. This game is bad. Right away, the intro was impressive visually. You know, it's made in 94, so it's a bit of a later Sega Genesis title. So you expect the visuals to be pretty good because by then they had the Sega Genesis figured out pretty well. Impressive visuals, reasonable music, nothing groundbreaking, but man, the gameplay is just sluggish. That's the best way I can say it. It is sluggish. Wolverine's movement is awful. There's such a startup delay of his going left or right. When you turn, it's just such a sluggish, slow delay, and you got these enemies that just constantly attack, and they're constantly coming at you or firing at you projectiles, which of course you don't have the ability for projectiles, and it's just frustrating, sluggish, clunky, annoying, not fun. Didn't make it past the first stage. Ended up didn't care, didn't want to. Not a fan of this game. It was an unpleasant surprise. I was like, this is one of the worst Wolverine games I've played. All right, I mean, and there's some good ones and there's some not so good ones, and this is clearly not one of those one of the not so good ones in my opinion. So I mean, because I love Wolverine, I like Marvel, I love X-Men. You know, I wanted to check it out, and I got it for pretty cheap, a good copy here. But man, actually finally playing it was just not impressed and was not fun for me. You know, now to be fair, I'm sure there are people out there that grew up with it. They played it as a kid, and when you're a kid and you grew up with it, it's nostalgic, and you kind of powered through it. And you figured it out, and you didn't care. It's different, you know. I mean, I've certainly got games that I know are objectively not great, but I love them, you know, because I grew up with them, and you know, when you were a kid and back in those days, you just had to power through it and figure it out. It was all you got. So that was different, you know. But as an adult now, to fire it up for the first time and comparing it to other greats of the time, it's not good. And finally, we have Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Boy, not going to bury the lead once again. Another stinker. Another stinker. I'm sorry to say. The movie, of course, is one of my favorite movies of all time. I bought this because got it for pretty cheap, complete copy. Boy, the gameplay. It looks all right. Visually, it's okay. Like your whip, it's pretty cool that you have your whip and you can use your whip, you can jump, you can punch, but the enemies are so relentless, and it takes like you have to use your whip over and over and over and over again to get them at any sort of range. And if you're punching, the way they're able to counter and hit you, and the way you can just fall and not knowing what's under you and fall to and damage yourself, you hurt yourself when you hit the ceiling with your head. That's just dumb. I'm sorry that in these types of games, you don't introduce that level of realism. Oh, I'm bumping my head on the ceiling. I'm hurting. You don't do that in these games. So that was a stupid decision. So this game, once again, I couldn't get past the first stage enough to care. It was just it was too frustrating and too weird and annoying, and the enemies were pretty outrageous. And I know I sound like somebody. It's like, oh wow, you don't know old school games. Like, well, I mean, playing it from a perspective of never growing up with it and just going into it and hoping to enjoy it, wasn't able to. I'm sorry. Maybe there are people that disagree. That's fine. There are old games I certainly love that are not. They're far from easy, but I still appreciate them, and I can see their inherently good design overall. But this game, it was just not good. I'm sorry. I couldn't see it. I couldn't see it. It was just. Maybe it gets better, but in terms of trying to pick it up and play it and immediately start enjoying it, wasn't happening for me. So I was gonna do just one of these. I was gonna continue my weekly series of early impressions, mini reviews. But honestly, going from being pretty disappointed with Mutant Fighter, and then going into Wolverine Adamantium Rage, and then being quickly disappointed by that, and then into this, and it was also bad. I'm like, man. I'm not just going to do one. It's like I'm just going to go ahead and do all three because I just kept running into disappointment after disappointment. And I just wanted to talk about it. So I hope you all like this content. Please give me a like and subscribe. If you there's more games that I don't have that I would like to get, and eventually, when if you all are able to become members after I get monetized and support the channel, I'll be able to look into purchasing more titles in the future and show them on the channel and actually fulfill requests and do all sorts. There's all sorts of stuff I want to do and build a community. But for now, have a great day. See you next time.